Hi everyone, it's Darlene with Darlene's Crafty Crew. I am going to show you how to make a chunky kind of barrel bead that you are going to be able to style with the colors that you want. So what we're going to do is grab a store flyer, because that's nice long paper, and cut a strip. Oh, let's do an inch bead. So you're just gonna, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna mark where an inch is, and I'm gonna cut in as straight a line as possible. Again, no big deal. And then we're going to take our stick. If you haven't seen how to make a basic bead yet, you're going to want to go back and look at that video. I'll actually have the link for you in the info box below this video. And you might want to take a look at that one first so you can see what it is that I'm doing. And what we're going to do, and the reason I'm using newsprint is actually two reasons. It does really well with the glue, and it's paper, we're not wasting like a pretty magazine page, because we're not going to see what we're rolling up right now. And so you can just use crappy paper. But again, the real reason is because I can get a really long strip and I don't have to cut a bunch of strips. So I'm just going to start rolling like this. And I hate it when I watch tutorials and they don't have their glue ready. And I do it every time. And the way I make beads is I glue as I go. Most don't. If you watch other tutorials, you will not see them doing this step. I like to put a little bit of glue and I rub it in the paper just a little bit, and then I just keep rolling. It makes the bead way more secure, and it makes it dry very hard if you have this step. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just put some on and I just rub it in. Now with this kind of paper, it can get your fingers a little dirty, but that's okay. Dirty is allowed in crafting. And while you're rolling, you just want to make sure that it's loose on the stick, because you want to be able to get it off when you're done. So you can see this is going to make a nice base for our bead. I'll show you the thickness. A little bit crooked here, that's okay. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, rub the glue in. You can kind of push the ends a little bit. And now this is, see, it's sticking here. Okay, this is the base. You can see how nice and chunky it is. Let me see here. And the hole. And I'm just going to put that aside and let that dry. It doesn't actually have to dry, it's just that we're going to get to the next step now, which is cutting our paper. So now the next thing, this is just regular copy paper. You can use something a little heavier if you want, but the copy paper is fine. Now we want it to start at an inch, so I'm going to just mark off an inch. I'm just going to make a little dent here. So we want I'm going to cut at an angle first, and then at another angle. You'll see this in the other video. And I want my base to be about an inch so that it'll fit perfectly on the bead that I just made. Then what we're going to do is we're going to color it. Now let's just say that I want, okay, let's do Skylar's two favorite colors, pink and purple. Now I'm going to want the center of the bead to be pink and the ends of the bead to be purple. The center is always the narrow part, so let's just split it in about half. I'm going to color the tip. This isn't really the pink I wanted, but it'll do. And you really only have to do the edge up until when you're at the very tip, like I would say maybe you know, 2 or 3 inches you want solid. But the rest you can have that white showing in the middle, because as you roll, you're going to be rolling right on top of that and it won't show. So let's do the base as purple, and you're going to see that I'm going to do just on the edges so as not to waste all my marker ink. And it doesn't have to be straight, you just want the very edge to be colored. Now, one thing I could have done, I could have colored the edges of this bead purple, and I will when it's dry, because you'll see that after that bead is done, this is all going to still be white, and it's better if it's purple to match the actual bead. So what we're going to do now is take the paper, add a little bit of glue. Now remember, oh, you need to use permanent markers for this, because the watercolor markers will run, but you can always experiment with that because you might like the way it looks when it runs. You always put your good side down. You're going to put your paper on your bead, and you're just going to start rolling it. And at this point, I'm going to put it back on the stick. Add my glue, put my glue down, mix it in a little bit, and start rolling. And you just try to keep it as centered as possible. You can see you're going to cover up all that white for the most part. And now you have a nice barrel bead that is purple on the edges. You're going to put some glue and just cover the whole outside of it with glue. And that'll dry to a nice hard sheen. And I will wait when that's dry. I'm going to color the ends purple. Let's see the pretty bead it makes. Very, very cool. I will let it dry and color the ends, and I'll show you what it looks like at that point. Okay, this has dried enough. I'm going to just color. Now actually, and see there's a little white showing there, so I'm just going to just fill it in with the purple marker. You could use another color if you wanted to. Very nice. It just makes the bead look, you know, finished. Less like a wad of newspaper. Now I'm going to make one more just so we can do the steps again, and this time I'm going to try coloring the newsprint and color on the inside too. If somebody sees inside the bead, it's prettier if the inside of it matches a little bit. There, that looks really nice. And again, when this really dries, it's going to dry very hard. And I have some glue dried up there that I'm going to take off. And if you were to see that, you know, you might have missed some on the pink or whatever, you can always just take your marker and color it in. Okay, let's do another one really quick, just so I can I'm gonna do about 1 inch. Let's do 1.5 inches this time. Let's do a really big one. Just gonna cut. Okay, so this time let's color, and let's do aqua and well, whatever color this is, I don't know, and orange. Very weird colors, but that's what we're gonna do. So I'll make the edge the darker color. Might be easier to just do it after, I think. I really do. I can tell you that I don't like this step. Yeah, I've never colored first. It was just what I thought was a bright idea. Okay, let's go. So, you always put your bad side towards you, the good side down. And you're just gonna wrap around your skewer. If you don't have a skewer, you could use a pencil. That would make a really big hole. Try to get something about the size of a skewer. And then make sure you're loose. I do a few rolls like that first, and then I add glue. And like I said before, some people don't put the glue until just the very end. But I like to do it as I go. And I have made thousands of beads, and I find that this way works the best. Okay, so there's my barrel. Just goop it up a bit. I kind of like this width. Now let's look and see. How did our ends turn out? Hey, not bad. You know, they came out pretty colored. So that wasn't bad. Okay, I'm just going to put that aside while I wipe my gluey hands on my pants. I think that's the proper way to clean hands, isn't it? Okay, we said 1.5 inches, so this time we want our base to be 1.5 inches-ish. There. I'm just gonna cut at an angle. I'm gonna taper this side off a little bit more. We just want a long triangle. There. I'm just gonna, before I color it, see, am I at 1.5 inches? Oh, that's like almost perfect. It's better for it to be a little bit narrower than your barrel than too wide. Okay, so we're gonna do about half of the green. And again, you only need the edges. My markers are already drying out. I have been like overusing them with doodles here. And then I'm going to do this kind of orangey brownish, I don't know what it's called. Well, I'm assuming it's orange, but it comes out pretty dark. And, you know, maybe like like I said, the last 2 or 3 inches you want to color the whole thing in. I will be showing you lots of different patterns. This is just a very basic hand-drawn bead. You can make some beautiful beads, and in all different styles, by picking your own colors. Let me show you just a few that I've made over the past few days. Different colors. Don't mind my cookie sheet. It's my craft sheet. I don't know if you can see the colors good on these. I have some like pink and green and blue and purple and yellow and purple and orange and yellow. I mean, they're just really cute. But those are not the barrel ones, not thick like this one. Okay, so I'm going back to my barrel, and we're still spinning along good here. Get some glue. Okay, now I'm gonna put the glue on this paper. I'm gonna put the glue on the bad side. And I'm just gonna attach it to the barrel, any old place that I want. And I'm going to start rolling. Add some glue. I have to remember to keep my hands under the camera. I'll eventually get the hang of this. I think my lighting might be better this time at least. I've got lamps like all over the place. I feel like I need sunscreen. I need to get what they call daylight lamps that will give me like a natural light, because I do this at night. Most of you know I'm a night owl. Whoa, who the heck is calling? That's for my mother. The double ring is for her. Okay, the phone was out of her reach, and phones get misplaced around here. Okay, that's it. I really like this one. I like the width of an inch and a half. I got glue all over me. I liked coloring the paper first, even though I didn't like it at the time. I think it came out great. Beautiful. I'm going to let that dry. Okay, that's about it. I just wanted to show you that, and I will link below. Oh, I also wanted to show you this stuff. Acrylic Gloss Medium. Now, this is actually to mix with acrylic paint, to thin it and to make it a little bit, what is the word? Is it opaque or transparent? Translucent, maybe that's the word, where it's a little bit more see-through. I should know that word, but I don't. But I found this because I was looking for another type of stuff that I can put on beads. It's called like diamond, crystal diamond or something, and you're supposed to be able to coat the beads and it really gives it a hard finish. But I couldn't find that. And then I was also looking for this other thing that I have written down somewhere. I couldn't find that. But when I found this, you can use it to coat, you know, as a sealer. And I've used it a couple times, and it is pretty good. It dries really hard. But the thing is it's only like $4 for this whole big bottle, which will last a very long time. And I got this at Walmart, so in case you want to coat things and get them nice and glossy, you want to try this Simply Acrylic Gloss Medium. If I can find if it's online on Walmart.com, I'll link to it for you. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching, and I will be back with more soon. Bye. I noticed the marker is darker on the newsprint, so it's kind of cool. It makes the ends two-toned.